What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Trank Tactical. Today is going to be our second video going over some more useful knots. If you haven't checked out the first one, be sure to check the link below to go look at that. We got some pretty cool knots to go over today, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this first knot we're going to take a look at is just a simple, it's called a Poachers Knot. It's just a simple noose knot. So what we're going to do is just start off with a bight in the end of our line. And I'm going to get some slack here because it's a pretty thick rope. And the first thing we're going to do is just cross that bight over. So here I got my working end, standing end on the left here. And this is just basically right now just a simple overhand loop. Now what we're going to do is take the working end and we're going to wrap it around once. Okay, so we're going to wrap them around once. And we're going to come around again, and then we're going to take this working end and put it underneath that X we formed here. So I'm going to put it underneath that X and just pull this tight. Now this thick rope, you got to really pull things. And so what you're going to have here is you're going to have an X on one side, and if we get this tight, you'll have a barrel on the other. Just cinch this up, and now you'll see you have a really simple noose knot. This is good for just doing a quick attachment to some sort of post or something. It's just a good little hitch to know. So that's the first knot. Alright guys, so demonstrating again that Farrimond friction knot. First thing we're going to do is just take our rope and we're just going to wrap it around once like that. Now, you're going to want to get a decent amount of slack here on your working end. And the first thing we're going to do is just create an underhand loop, and we're going to set it on our working end. We're going to coil it twice. There's one coil, coil it again, there's another coil, and we're going to bring these coils in and just get them pretty much just closer together. So you can see here we've got our coiled piece. Now we're just going to form a bight and put it through. Now an important thing to get this knot working is you have to pull things nice and tight, and so we're going to just start dressing this up a bit. We're going to tighten these bottom coils, tighten the top coils. Just keep bringing this in until it's a nice knot here. So when you're done, you're going to have something that looks pretty much like this. And you can just keep dressing that up. With this fat rope, it's hard to get it much tighter than it already is. And you can pull these a bit, but there we go. A little more there. Now you'll notice how when I grab this and pull, it holds, but we can adjust it to make either a smaller and it's holding, or we can make it a bigger one just like this. And then the cool thing is when you're all finished, all you have to do to undo this is grab this guy and just pull it. And just like that, you're done. You got your rope and you're ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do for the Canadian Jam guys is just create a quick stopper knot in the end of our line. I think the easiest way to do that is just to make a quick figure 8 knot. So we'll just come over and around and back through. So here we've got a figure 8 stopper knot. Just cinch that up a bit. Now the next thing we're going to do is create our jam. So what we're going to do is actually start by bringing our, so here we have a working end. We're going to bring it, just create a overhand loop just like this. And we're going to bring it through that loop as if we were doing a big overhand knot. But at this point we're not actually going to cinch that up. We're just going to leave this as is. So on this end of the rope, what we have is we've got a stopper here, and we've got our overhand loop here. Now the next part is we're going to take our standing end, which is all the rope attached here, and we're just going to put this around the tree, just like that. And then what we're actually going to do is feed this working end, well, standing end, but we're sort of working with it, through our jam. So we're actually just going to feed this through, and I'm going to bring all the slack out. This is going to take a second. Okay guys, so you can see what we've got. We've got our stopper knot. We had that simple overhand loop, and then we just fed the rest of the line through. And now if I tighten this against the tree, you'll see that the stopper knot won't get through that overhand jam. And so now we've got this really secure post we can use. And so this is great for, again, cinching down you know, around a post or whatever you need to jam on. So that is the Canadian jam. All right guys, so this next one's really simple. This is just a, it's the Marlin spike hitch. It's the basis, kind of a precursor to a lot of knots. And so it's a really good one to know how to tie. So all you're gonna do is, if we have a line here, and it doesn't really matter which way you come at this from. If you're doing some sort of rope ladder pattern with it, you'd want to keep it symmetric. But first thing we're going to do is just create a quick loop here. And then what we're going to do is actually fold that right on top of our line here. And you'll see we've kind of formed the Marlin spike hitch essentially. And so if you took something like this log and actually fed it through, then all I can do is just grab both ends, and you see how it kind of spikes around the log just like that. Let's say we want to get this toggle here and make it part of a rope ladder, and let's say we don't have access to our standing or free end, and so all we're working with is just basically what's in the middle of this line right here. All we have to do is just have enough slack to make one loop, just like this, and then fold that onto our end there. And all we have to do then is take the toggle, put it through that, and then you can just latch down on it, and now you've got this as part of your sort of toggled into your system. Alright guys, so the bowline on the Bight here, you don't have access to either end of your line, but you need to form a secure loop. This is going to be what you're going to want to do. So all you have access to is this Bight. And the first thing we're going to do is just same way as if we were starting a normal bowline, is we're going to make a quick overhand loop. Okay, so all I've done here is just made an overhand loop. Now we're going to take the Bight, okay, and we're going to actually bring it through our loop. Okay, so I bring it through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be folding this back over everything. But notice, keep your eye on these, because these are actually going to be forming the loop. So what I do is I fold this over and grab those two that I was talking about, grab those and pull them out through. And you'll see the whole knot sort of collapses on itself. And as you start cinching down a bit, you can see that we've got our typical bowline configuration here. And just like that, we've got a secure loop now, and we just did it in the middle of the line.